While Disney World can be the most magical place on Earth, it can also be the most controversial place on Earth. Everyone's a critic. Everyone has an idea of what should and shouldn't be allowed inside of a Disney park. So we asked our readers, what do you think should be banned in Disney World? Can we ban crowds? Is that a thing? Wait, did Sage write this?
I don't know if he's actually going to say that. I wrote that, so who knows what he's actually saying. This is about to be either the best episode or the episode that people might just get really... They might throw a table because this might get insanely controversial. I mean, we're talking about things that either people love or people hate, things that might possibly or should be banned at Disney World. And I was the one who checked all the comments in the post with our readers, and people had some serious thoughts about what should and shouldn't be banned. There were actually a lot of things that people thought shouldn't be banned, which maybe we'll do some like a bonus feature at the end. But our number one thing, I said this earlier, 80% of people said this first thing that Fry is going to talk about what should be banned in Disney World, and I struggle with this, but you know what, Fry, go ahead. It's for you.
Okay, now I'm saying this knowing the comments on this YouTube video. I'm ready for it, but you know what?
I'm so ready.
It's a debate. It's totally up for debate. A lot of people think that alcohol should be banned at Disney World. That's a bold statement, but we're going to talk about it because there are pros and cons. So let's talk about it. In Disney parks in general, alcohol can be a touchy subject because, you know, when Disneyland first opened in 1955, it was a dry park, so no alcohol ever. Walt Disney, of course, wanted it to be a family park. He thought of his daughters when he first created it, and so the idea of alcohol was never part of his mind. He wanted it to be an alcohol-free park. However, that has changed over the years. People believe that with the change of including alcohol inside these family parks, that it taints Walt Disney's original vision. The classic phrase, "This is not what Walt would have wanted," things like that. So it's kind of a give and take. It's again, a very touchy subject. However, Disneyland was not as always dry as people thought it was. Club 33, which is the exclusive membership area. It's a membership program. You have to be invited. Lengthy application process. Big membership dues. They had alcohol. Okay.
Emphasis on big membership dues.
Yes. So Club 33 has sold beer, wine, and hard liquor since it opened in the 1960s. So that's something to consider along with this debate. The story goes that Walt Disney was against the idea of selling booze in his park. However, it was going to be hard to sell these very fancy, very expensive Club 33 memberships without offering the alcohol. So that's kind of where it came into the parks, and now since then has made its way to inside the actual parks, at least at Disney World. So one of our readers, Barbara M, said, "No smoking, no alcohol, nothing that disrespects the family dynamic," which was, in all caps, one man's dream. So I'm on both sides of the story. I can see. Some adults want to be able to have adult beverages and just walk around and enjoy the parks. Just like they do at Universal, just like you do at other theme parks, Not everyone gets drunk, okay? Some people do, some people don't. Hopefully you're eating food along the way to counteract that, drinking water, all of those important things.
Okay, we can talk about social media for a second. When bad things happen in the parks, or that's the first thing that you're gonna see. Nobody ever reports on look at all these responsible adults having 2 or 3 beverages around the World Showcase. The times that people are just angry and rude, again, for people who go to the parks almost every day, I don't see it that often. Yeah, people probably have 1 or 2 more than they should, but it never comes to a place of you see fights in the parks, you see people disrupting other people's time at the parks. I typically don't see that, so that tends to be exception and not the rule when it comes to drinking at the parks from what I have currently seen. Yes, now there have been some circumstances, but for the most part, I have seen adults drink responsibly, but we always, when we're drinking in the parks, we always give like safety talks. Anytime we do videos drinking in the parks, we always give these safety talks. And well, Emma, you're better at the safety talk than I am.
I don't know if I'm super good at it. I think it takes a team effort. But when it comes to drinking safely in Disney World, we do love to have like a few rules. First off, if you are not staying on Disney property, and even if you are, don't be driving. Like, take a bus, take the Skyliner, Uber. Even if you're not staying on Disney World and you can't utilize their free options, just take an Uber, take a Lyft. It's an option and it's safe for not only you, but pretty much everyone else around you, even other people on the road. So always make sure that you have a DD or that you're not driving. However you want to handle that is up to you. Just don't get behind the wheel of a car if you've been drinking in Disney World. We also recommend always making sure that you're maybe having a snack or a glass of water with every drink that you have. Like when we drink around the world, we like to have at least 1 or 2 items with us, pretty much every country. And then after you're taking care of yourself and you're drinking water and you're eating snacks and you're not driving, just remember you're in Disney World and be respectful of everyone around you. You deserve to have a good time, of course, but so do the other people that paid for a ticket. Safety talk.
And another reader, DB Roberts, said, I want to ban alcohol. Sorry, I do not mind drinkers, but hate those who abuse and end up causing rowdiness. So again, we say this in all of our videos. If there's any alcohol involved, we do not condone getting sloppy or being disrespectful or getting unruly. It is a Disney park. There are rules. You can get kicked out of Disney parks for acting that way. So just the big point that we need to talk about is just everyone being respectful towards everyone. And even for those who don't drink, Disney also has a bunch of fun mocktails everywhere. So if you're with a group of friends that is drinking, possibly drinking around the world, they're going to have those mocktail options for you as well. Because again, Disney wants everyone to have a good time.
I completely agree, and I understand why, a lot of our followers have this mindset, right? Like, you have your children there, you have your family there, nobody wants to see, Aunt Lisa, acting crazy, getting into fights with Minnie Mouse or Princess. I'm the fairest of them all. Like, we don't want to see that, right? However, Disney is now known for having some truly incredible cocktails and alcoholic beverages and spectacular wine packages and pairings that you can have with your food, Does that mean that you have to get it? No. Baby, get yourself a mocktail, get you some apple juice, and live your best life. But me and my friends, we gonna turn up. I'm just gonna say, respectfully, responsibly, we are gonna turn up.
And also, I'm morbidly curious about Aunt Lisa fighting with Minnie Mouse. That's just me personally, but I might be interested in seeing what Aunt Lisa has to say to Minnie Mouse. Just throwing that out there.
But overall, there are 2 camps when it comes to alcohol at the parks or not. It looks like now Disney has embraced it and they turned it into almost a culture in the parks. Specifically when it comes to festivals at Epcot, Drinking Around the World Showcase, they encourage you to taste the food and the beverages. So around these festivals, they put so much emphasis on the beverages as well as the food. So now it's kind of become a thing. In general, Walt Disney World began selling alcoholic beverages at select Magic Kingdom locations in 2012. It wasn't necessarily at walk-up stands. It was mostly at table service restaurants. You had to be sitting down, having a nice meal in order to get an alcoholic beverage. They added boozy drinks to the menus of the final 3 dry restaurants in 2018. The Club 33 installation at Magic Kingdom, which opened in 2019, also sells alcoholic drinks. Disneyland also now sells cocktails thanks to Galaxy's Edge and the Blue Bayou, which means there are no longer any dry parks in the United States. So, overall, what side of the argument do y'all lean on? Are we yay alcohol, nay alcohol? I want to know.
My palms are sweating.
You already know.
For all of us, I think.
All the way. Yeah. We turn it up. We drinking around the world responsibly, but we're having a good time. Period. For me.
That's a solid camp. I think that's the camp to be on, right? It's yay with safety. I'm a yay safety. You know what I mean? Like, have a good time, enjoy yourself, treat yourself, but safely.
Yeah, I'm in the camp of yay for what you want, as long as it's responsible. If you don't want to drink, you don't have to drink. A lot of my experiences when I have seen guests being rude to cast members or causing a scene or maybe getting in fights, alcohol hasn't necessarily been involved. I've been in Magic Kingdom a lot where I have seen people be rude to cast members or be mean to members of their family and scream and yell. So it's not always necessarily the negative aspect of alcohol that causes those issues. So I think as long as you're being kind and respectful to everyone there, do what you want. So yay booze, but only if you want.
RJ, would you let's lighten the mood a little bit, because this alcohol talk, it's so controversial. What's something so niche that really a lot of people love? You either love them or you hate them.
Well, listen, life might be the bubbles for Sebastian under the sea.
Tell him.
Them bubble wands are not the bubbles for many of our followers. And I think even we can agree with that. These cheap moving light up toys are a staple for the average Disney World tourist. You know, you see little kids running around the parks with their little Ariel or Buzz Lightyear spinning bubble wand. It makes all this noise and, you know, comes out. But they could be aggravating and, to be honest with you, a bit of a distraction. Our reader, Samantha A., said, bubble wands, clearly invented by someone who doesn't wear glasses. I think the issue with bubble, which is a good point. I think, you know, Samantha needs to get her some of these. You know, I think these are are bubble blockers. You know, they're Powerline bubble blockers. But I think the issue with bubble wands is I always find when I am at the parks and I am actually trying to like do something like blog or take pictures, bubble wands just always seem to appear at the most inconvenient moment. And bubbles are just in your face. They're everywhere. There's that one, you know, gorgeous, tiny human being who is just, you know, bubbling away. I mean, what do you guys think about it?
My first thought when you said gorgeous, tiny human being bubbling away, I was like, Fry Bucket has a bubble wand?
I was going to say the same thing.
Like, I truly thought. Normally, I am pro bubble wand, but genuinely and very recently in my life, I had 2 different occasions where a child just smacked me, like standing in line with their bubble wands. And one of the kids' moms didn't know what happened, and I'm not a snitch. I mean, I'm not going to tell on them. But the other one, their mom was like, truly, their mom was like, oh, sorry about that. And I was like, what? I mean, they literally used it like a baseball bat and swung at my thigh, this child. I mean, you could not notice it, you know, whatever. So now I'm anti-bubble wand, only because of those 2 situations. But normally
because of your trauma, you have bubble wand trauma.
Yeah, truly.
What about you, Sage? Do you have any bubble wand traumas? Or you're about to be Sage Daddy Sage, okay? You have a little one coming. So you need to get prepared for that little bubble wand that they're going to ask for.
The thing about bubble wands is you just can't control them, right? I think that's why people don't love them. Is that, you know, with the light up, it's like it's shaped just like a bubble wand, but you light it up and like it spins around really fast. Remember those? Like, you can control that. Like, that's easy. That stays in one place. But bubble wands, once the bubbles are out there, they have a mind of its own. They get in people's glasses, blinded by the glasses. You get maybe you're like RJ and I, and we are singing every note to Beauty and the Beast live on stage, and some kid in the front row pulls out his bubble wand, and we're like, oh, is it? You know, and it's just, bubble wands are cute, like they're fine, but I do really think it's interesting how much people resent bubble wands, like in a big way.
I think it's mainly, there's like certain instances, in my opinion, where maybe parents or whoever's in charge of the bubble wand holder should be like, hey, not here. You know, there's a lot of places. I love walking down Main Street with bubbles. Like, that's so nice and magical and fun. But if I'm sitting next to you on the monorail in a really like enclosed space, I don't want to be like breathing in the bubble air. So I think that's where the resentment comes from, is like time and place,
Okay, Fry, as our cute little gorgeous one, I need to know what you feel about bubble wands.
Okay, so apparently I'm the only one on this team who likes to have fun because I love bubble wands.
You're our hashtag WC for life or whatever it is.
Yeah,
true.
I've already had this conversation with my sister. I'm going to be the fun aunt who brings the kids, my nieces and nephew, to Disney World. I'm going to give them all the bubble wands and I'm going to send them home because I want to be the fun aunt. But I do think, like Emma said, Emma and I were filming videos a couple days ago walking through Magic Kingdom, and we walked through bubbles and we were like, oh, this is so fun. And we would like poke them and stuff. But like in our instance, we could walk away from the bubbles, So I don't know what that would be like if you're with a group of people with a little child who has a bubble wand, who loves that bubble wand and just won't let go of the button. I can understand. That's probably a little irritating.
And here's where Disney gets you, Fry Bucket, is that you get a little thing of bubbles that go with it, and once it's out, you gotta the children are gonna ask you to buy more. They're gonna say, "Hey, I'm out of bubbles, Daddy, Mommy, Uncle, Aunt. I'm out of bubbles." And so now you are financially responsible for not only your child but for the bubble wand. It's an investment. You have made. Where's my return on this investment? There's nothing there.
Listen, our reader Stacy B totally agrees. She says, "Those dang blasted bubble wands. Don't get me wrong." Okay, dang blasted. I have 2 kids, so I know there's a lot of love for bubbles, but dang, I am tired of them floating in my mouth.
And for this very last one, I wholeheartedly agree with. I think we all agree with it. And this was definitely a huge submission from all of our readers, all of our All Ears readers. And what is it, Emma?
Well, before I even get into it, I'm going to be honest. If you guys disagree with this one, if you think this should be allowed, you're probably not in the right space. This is probably not the people for you, because we all agree that being mean to cast members must be banned. No question here. This is probably the most important piece of advice All Ears is going to give you when you're traveling to Disney World, Disneyland, any Disney property. Sometimes you're going to come to Disney World and things are not going to be perfect and magical, and there's just going to be things that happen that frankly no one can control. Whether a ride breaks down, a reservation gets canceled, a character meet and greet isn't happening when you need it to happen, 9 times out of 10, this is not because of the cast members. They have no control over it. Frankly, they're just there to do their jobs, and a lot of times they are going above and beyond to do what they can to make up for those situations. Please, please, please be kinder to them. They don't deserve the frustration that sometimes you might feel. It's not ever their fault. They are more likely to go out of their way to help you than they are to, not ignore the issue, basically. It is just common sense, people.
Yes, I for sure agree with this because I have been on the receiving end of some of the yelling, of some of the hateful energy, by simply just, handing someone the wrong drink of choice, and then apparently I ruined their entire vacation instead of just asking for a different one, and I can just give that to you. But I will say, I really want to emphasize that a lot of the things that guests get upset about, like you already said, not the cast member's responsibility. I had guests get mad at me, no joke, for how much the food costs at Docking Bay 7. Like I had any control over that. They got mad at me thinking the food was too expensive, which I agree with. I feel you. But don't get mad at me about that. Put it in your little end of trip survey questionnaire and then tell Disney about it there. So I think it's just very important to know that cast members have no control over prices, over rules, over anything. They're just trying to do their jobs and not get fired. So please be nice to the cast members. They truly want to make sure you have a magical vacation. Anything that a cast member does is not going to make or break your Disney World vacation. If, they don't give you enough mac and cheese on your plate, that's not ruining your entire Disney World vacation. Again, I got told that I was ruining someone's vacation because of that.
Preach.
Things are rough out there for the cast
Things are
members,
rough,
especially even more now, even more so.
COVID heightened a lot of the tough times that cast members were going through. Unfortunately, there were a lot of added rules that people didn't really love, and they were rules. It's what you had to do. So unfortunately, a lot of the cast member tough times did get worse during COVID. The craziest thing that ever happened to me, though, was someone did threaten to beat me up because I didn't know what her son and husband looked like. So be kind to cast members. They can't help you in that situation unless you are explaining the help that you need. It was a crazy one. I'm kind of like, right, I have lots of stories I could tell. But I do know that a lot of our viewers agree. Gregory D says, if you cuss out a cast member, you don't deserve to enjoy the magic or the pixie dust. They make the magic happen. Respect them. And I think that is truly preaching. Cast members, in my opinion, are truly the entire magic of Disney World. The rides don't run without them. The food doesn't get made. The magical moments don't happen. Like, it is the cast members and the human connection that makes the magic for a lot of people. The dancers and characters that you see on stage, the people who chat with you in lines. I mean, they're just the ones who make it happen. Without the cast members, the place doesn't run. So I think Gregory is preaching right here.
Now, I know Disney has not always been perfect with their cast members. However, adding this courtesy rule on their website, like letting you know, hey, if you don't treat our cast members with respect, you will be kicked out of the park. There will be some sort of punishment. I feel like is a really great step in the right direction and a really great thing that they're doing for cast members, saying, hey, cast members, we appreciate you. We appreciate that you're here, and we want you to feel safe when you're here if things don't always go to plan. So for that, I definitely thank Disney and commend Disney because I'm sure they're going to get some hate for it, for the fact that they are attempting to keep a safe work environment for both Disney World and Disneyland.
Our last quote, kind of about this same topic, is from Loretta C. And she says that entitled guests who have no consideration for other guests or treat the cast members with disrespect should be banned. And you know what? I never want to say, oh, you should be banned from Disney World. But truly, if you're not going to be nice to everybody around you, like, it's supposed to be the happiest and most magical places on earth. You know, and if you can't feed into that vibe, at least a little bit in your own attitude, we get it. There's a lot of money being spent. There's a high crowd volume. Heat can get really intense. But a lot of Disney World is about mindset. So if you go in with the proper mindset and remember to take breaks and breathe and just remember that, you know, sometimes things are not always going to be perfect and mistakes happen, but kindness is always going to make things better. Every time I have been frustrated at Disney World, if I was just kind and communicative with the cast members that were helping me, they often were kind and communicative back, and they did what they could for me. Sometimes that meant I got a new magic band or whatever my problem was. They solved it. They made it better. Sometimes all they could do was be nice, and that's okay because that's all they can do. But sometimes, you know, cast members just help you when things are going badly. And frankly, I've had cast members, literally, I've been on the verge of like tears. And they've been like, you're fine. Like my personal baby therapists. They have been helpful. So always be nice to them because they deserve kindness too.
And on that note, if you run into an experience where a cast member was great, a cast member was magical, please go into the app and give them a cast compliment. It means so much to them, and Disney leaders recognize that. So you can either go into the app and give a cast compliment. You need their name and their location, kind of briefly describe the magical moment that they made for you. Or you can also go on Twitter and tweet it and say, you know, Emma at Rock and Roller Coaster was so nice to me, insert the tweet. Back when I was working at Docking Bay 7, if anybody ever got a tweet like that, the leaders would actually take a screenshot of it, print it out with this little frame, and then we got to go around. We picked any location in Galaxy's Edge. We could pick our favorite spot, and we took a picture of us holding it in front of that location. So like it truly means so much to the cast members, and leaders will recognize that. So the more that you do that, the more that cast members feel the love. And it doesn't have to be, you know, super magical moment. You can just say, hey, Rick was super nice at, you know, Magic Kingdom, wherever you were. Like, he just was really nice to us, and I love that. And you tweet it out, give it a cast compliment, and they're going to see that, and they're going to feel all the love. So more importantly, just tell cast members that you love and appreciate them, because it goes truly
love
a
you,
long,
cast
long
members.
way.
Amen. We love you, cast members.
If you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe. Now go watch our episode on the #1 tip when planning your trip to Walt Disney World. Bye.
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 Be nice to cast members.